What is going on, y'all? Mama here, back with another video. Today I'm gonna be showing you how I passed 50K top step combines in 2 trades. And yeah, let's get into that and going over the profit target, the risk amount, and how to execute on these setups so you can pass it in 2 trades. So let's get into that. So if we're just putting in the profit targets for these accounts, the profit target is going to be 3K. So what you need to be risking is 1,500 to 2,000 per trade. And it has a 50% consistency, so you need to pass it in 2 trades. So 2x trades, 1,500, and risking or sizing, I'm basically using 3 to 5 minis based on the stop for NQ. So that's pretty much it. Like, profit target is 3K. I'm trying to make 1,500 per trade. So the sizing with that is it's going to be in between 15 to 25 points. And you need 25 points total, right? 20 or not 25, 50 points total. Depending on the size, actually. So 50 points total if you're using 3 minis. And each mini, you're just lowering 10 points. So if you use 4 minis, you need to hit 40 points. And if you use 5 minis, the max, you need to hit 15 points. So this is like the general framework. I'm just doing all this on top of my head right now. But let's get into the trades. So I got these accounts on Wednesday. And then I caught a trade to the downside on Wednesday for 1,500, and then I caught another trade today to the upside for 1,500, so I was able to pass in 2 trades. So let's just get rid of all the drawings. So I'm gonna be going over the analysis real quick. So as you can see on Wednesday, we're clearly in a higher time frame range. So what you need to do is like find ways to trade within these ranges. So you can either aim for a previous day high or London lows or Asia low. And I'm trying to frame a trade towards there, right? And then we have this gap right here. We're rejecting out of this gap. And then if we see lower prices and rejection out of this gap, we can see London low and Asia low. So let's just get into that. So currently price is rejecting out of it, but we're flipping up, and then we're going towards previous day high, but we're rejecting it. And if you look on ES, we took out previous day high, setting a divergence. So the market has a high chance of reversing right here. So you could take a trade right there, but I personally didn't. And then from here, I'm looking for a pullback to target Asia low and London low. So these are my targets right here. And I'm just looking for a better entry, right? And once we started rejecting out of this gap right here, so we have this 1 minute gap right here. We rejected out of the midpoint, and I basically entered like mid candle right there. And then I set my TP to London low, but I only need to hit 1,500, right? So this was obviously just like a quick scalp, and then I hit my target right there. And I was able to pass or get halfway past for those accounts. And then from here, we're kind of just consolidating. We're setting a divergence on ES, so the market is reversing again. So ES took out these liquidity areas, NQ didn't. So price is inversing this gap and then ultimately reversing. So that's the first trade that I took. Let's go into the price action today. Let's just move ES over there. I'm gonna remove my drawings. So let's go start off with the hourly time frame. As you can see, we took out major draws on liquidity already. If you mark out Asia high from the pre-market low, we dropped 350 points. So it's already a low probability day, but doesn't mean there's zero trades and whatnot. There's always going to be some scalp opportunities, and when there's scalp opportunities, I'm looking to pass evaluations, right? And then we also took out this previous day low, so that's already like a target that we can't target anymore. So let's just go into the price action. 1 second. Let's see. I think we have this 15-minute gap right here. So we'll see how we react to this 15-minute gap at open. I personally didn't even show up to the desk today. I was just watching the charts from bed. And then I ended up seeing a setup, so I took it. So right off the bat, we rejected off this 15-minute gap. And then we're kind of just like chopping around, consolidating. And then ultimately we took out pre-market low. And then from here, ES didn't take out pre-market low, right? So this is presenting a divergence in the indices. That's when ES or NQ is taking out a low and the other isn't. So as you can see right here on the left side, we're presenting a divergence. And then that's usually a sign of reversal. And then from here, we're kind of just displacing up. And then I'm kind of just, once I saw this displacement, I'm kind of looking for a trade setup just so I can scalp and pass my combines. And then from here, where we're tracing into these 5-minute gaps. And then we got this strong displacement off this gap and holding this gap. And I basically entered mid candle right here. Basically right here. So what I did was I zoomed into like the 30-second and basically entered mid candle of this 1 minute. And then from here, let's just go back to the bar real fast. So zooming into the 30-second, we got this displacement up. I entered 3 cons. Just aiming for 1500. And then from here, I was able to hit my target within 30 seconds. And that ultimately led me to pass 5 50K combines quickly within 2 trades. So ultimately, the plan behind this is I want to pass evaluations fast. So I'm sizing heavy, but I'm looking for good opportunities for me to pass those trades, right? With 3 cons, I'm only using, or I only need to hit 50 points. So 2 25-point trades that are high probability, right? So I had 1 high probability trade on Wednesday and I had a high probability trade on Thursday. And this was just literally a 30-second scalp. I'm basing off of a rejection of these 5-minute gaps, strong displacement, and then we also have this high that we can target quickly. And then if you look at price action, we ultimately hit that high, and that was pretty much it. Once you have like a clear system, all it takes is the right risk, and you want to be more aggressive on the evals. And when you're on the funded stage where you can actually make money, right? Because on evals, you technically you can't make any money off of it. You need to prove to the firms that you can trade. And once you have your funded accounts, this is where you can make 5 to 10,000 per payout. With that being said, hope y'all learned something. And if you guys have any questions, just write it down in the comments. Peace.